Hello Union! In this video we are going to learn another progression for the full planche. This will be the tuck planche, one of the most important steps towards your goal, the full planche. In this video we are going to learn how to go from the lean planche like this to the tuck planche like this, and then from the tuck planche to another progression of the planche that will be the advanced tuck planche like this. When it comes to the tuck planche, the same principles that we talked before on the lean planche apply, meaning that you want to keep your scapulars protracted all the time, your elbows straight, as well as your core engaged. Additionally, you have to remember that you have to lean forward to better reproduce the planche position. Like in the lean planche, also the tuck planche has these common mistakes and common errors that people tend to make. Starting by the elbows, you have to make sure that you are not bending at the elbows and that you keep your elbows straight. Also, going to the shoulders, the protected scapulars are another point that you have to keep in mind and control over the course of time while performing the tuck planche. Additionally, one other mistake is letting your waist go down and not be aligned with your shoulders, meaning that you are losing your engagement in your abs and your position, your notion of your position while performing a tuck planche. So this is the three most common mistakes, so make sure that you keep them in mind and pay attention when you perform the tuck planche. Now, which exercises are best to go from the lean planche to the tuck planche? The first step, and with that the first exercise, is related to your scapulars engagement, your serratus anterior engagement. I'm performing this on the deep station because it's best for you to start, because you have all that range for your feet to go down and the floor doesn't give you that important point. With that said, here you want to perform a kind of half tuck or even a deep station engagement of your scapulars, meaning that you want to go from the deep position, holding the deep position, and protract your scapulars, engaging your serratus anterior and going to a protected scapular position while performing this exercise and getting the mind-muscle connection, the notion of the position, while activating your serratus anterior to go to the protected scapulars that I've talked before. So this is the first exercise, and the first step that you want to have in your training is that activation of your serratus anterior without having your feet on the floor like in the planche lean. The next exercise is going to be the tuck planche assisted with one foot. This one is great to start to get the notion of this movement. You can form this on the parallettes if they are low parallettes, or as well you can form them on the floor as I'm showing you here. And here you want to have one foot. It can be closer to your body if you are just starting and you want it to be easier, or it can also be far away from your body and make it even harder to perform. Also in this one you have to make sure that you keep the key points in your mind: protected scapulars, elbows straight, as well as your core engaged and your leaning, because after that you want to go from this holding position with one foot to this changing one foot to another, meaning that you are doing something similar to the mountain climbers. I believe you know this exercise, and here you want to make sure that you are transitioning and improving the time that you are without your feet on the floor. So you want to start doing it with a faster motion, turning from one foot to the other with a faster motion, and then having a more controlled position, going from one foot, holding 2 seconds, and then put the feet on the floor and change like this with 1, 2 and even 3 seconds of changing from one position to the other. This one is great because it will help you with your endurance in the position, and also have you pay attention to the position, to the protracted position, to the straight elbow position and the leaning position all the time. Back to the parallettes, the next exercise is going to be raises, tuck raises. These ones have two variations: the regular tuck raises from the deep to the tuck position, and also the L-sit to the tuck position. Here, for starters, you can do the deep position to the tuck and doing it with a faster motion, as well as then going to the L-sit as a progression if you want something harder for your training, and then performing as well with a faster motion. As you grow stronger and this exercise becomes easier, you can start to do the same thing that we did previously, that is increasing the time under tension, meaning that you want to go from L-sit, for example, from the L-sit to the tuck planche, and with the transition being a slower transition, a controlled transition, and with a little bit of hold in the tuck position for 1 or 2 seconds, and then repeat it, for example, for 5 repetitions. The same can be applied to the deep position, to the tuck planche as well. The next one and the last one is going to be a harder one, and it's going to be handstand to tuck planche negatives. This one is for you that already can perform a good handstand and that have the opportunity to go from the handstand to the tuck planche with a controlled motion as well. This one is especially great because you are strengthening all your range of motion from the handstand to the tuck planche and will help you in the other progressions as well. If you can perform this with your body weight, you can also use a band to perform it and do it as the same, putting the band on your waist and doing some repetitions as well. Always make sure that you are performing it with straight elbows, protracted scapulars and your core engaged. Don't forget these main topics that I'm always telling you and that they are really important to your progression to the full planche. So you reach the tuck planche and now what happens? You want to go from the tuck planche to the advanced tuck planche and increase the leverage, the intensity of your training. In this one, the same things apply. I'm not going to repeat it because you already know what I mean. And then from here, the difference is that you are opening your hips a little bit, going from a closed hip position to an extended hip position. So with that said, you have to really keep in mind that you have your abs engaged, your glutes activated and that posterior pelvic tilt in mind. And because one of the most common mistakes with this one is that extended position at the lumbar spine and not having the posterior pelvic tilt that you really need to focus on to have a good position. So for this one you have to keep in mind that you have a good control at your lumbar spine and at your hip, and then perform the same exercise that we did previously, but with this difference that you are with an open position and your gluteus is more activated than in the regular tuck planche. Here you have also an extra exercise that you can perform that is going from the tuck planche to the advanced tuck planche, doing small raises with your hip, going from that flexion position to the extended position of the hip and coming back as well. You can perform this going for a faster motion at the beginning because it's easier, and then when you are stronger, when you grow your strength, you can go with a slower motion and a controlled motion, and even with some hold at the end position. So with that said, you have here the things that you need to work on to perform the tuck planche and even the advanced tuck planche in the long term. And in the next video we are going to take a look at another progression that is going to be the 𝚆𝚐𝚘 position, another incredibly important position that you have to be conscious about and that you have to learn in order to have a better planche position at the end. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video, that you learned something for your training and that you start applying it tomorrow or even today in your own training, and that it gets you results and gets you your tuck or even your advanced tuck planche for now. If you like this new series and if you like these new videos, please comment down below, give us the like, and also make sure you turn on the notification and subscribe to the channel because you don't want to miss the next video that's going to be about the 𝚆𝚐𝚘 position. So I'm going to see you on the next video.